Hello everyone, and welcome to my Iconic Goodbyes channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. As their families begin to panic, Phyllis and Sharon receive a mysterious new riddle. Today on The Young and the Restless, Chance dives for information, Sharon looks for clues, and Billy joins the inquiry. Esther is at Crimson Lights, dropping off Nick and Summer's orders at their table. She can tell they need caffeine, and they say she's the best. Esther explains that her fears about Sharon have kept her from making pecan pie muffins. The employer has not responded to her calls, which is unusual for her. Nick claims she's just gone to a spa. Esther says sarcastically, "I hope she's having fun." Chance arrives after she goes away and declares that Phyllis is nowhere to be found. Her automobile is at the athletic club, and there is no record of her receiving a ride. Nick informs him of Phyllis's call to Summer and questions if she is indeed on a business trip. Summer doubts this because her mother would have brought Daniel along with her. She wouldn't have gone from bothering him about work to fleeing without a phone call. The cop receives a call confirming that Sharon has not checked into any spas in Sedona. When they argue whether Sharon would leave or lie about it, Summer reminds her father that she did the same thing a few weeks before. Nick claims she was drugged at the time. His daughter thinks something prompted her, but he's not persuaded. She suggests Sharon may simply be attempting to avoid him. He doesn't buy it either. They talk about how frightened Sharon was, and Summer praises her father for being such a wonderful father. Nick doesn't know where to seek for answers, but he's 99.9% certain that whatever is going on is not good. Daniel and Billy are sure that something is wrong. Daniel arrives at Billy's house and explains that he has not received an answer from his mother. He and Nick didn't want to worry him yesterday, but it doesn't make sense for his mother to go on a mysterious vacation and contact Summer. There's something odd about this whole situation. This raises a lot of questions. The abbot explains that Phyllis kept phoning him while he was in Paris. It doesn't make sense that she would vanish when he started phoning back. Daniel mentions that Sharon is also gone. They all disappeared around the same time. They both believe it is more than a cosmic accident that two ladies who despise each other would vanish at the same moment and then call in at the same time using burner phones. This appears to be a revenge plot. Phyllis argued to both of them that she had moved on from it, and they believed her. But if it's not vengeance, what's going on? They cannot envision Sharon and Phyllis hugging it out. Billy believes that the women should have been taken together. Whoever did that probably had no idea what they were getting themselves into and will soon be pleading for their captives to be released. Jordan and Ian were the only ones insane enough to do anything like this, and they are both dead. Summer phones her brother. She tells that she is with her father and Chance at Crimson Lights and that she is confident he will want to hear what the cop has to say. When Daniel hangs on the phone, Billy tells him he has a lot riding on Phyllis and wants to go with him. Phyllis and Sharon are looking for someone to blame. Phyllis wakes up moaning on the couch in the medical clinic's basement. Sharon's lack of drooling on her shoulder allowed her to sleep soundly. When she checks for coffee, she notes that Sharon has already used it. There was no alarm this morning, leaving her wondering if their host intended them to sleep in. Sharon has been flipping through books, looking for hints about who their kidnapper might be. Knowledge of this could be their only weapon. Phyllis doubts they'd leave anything behind to reveal their identities. Sharon is certain that the place must contain some sort of hint. Connecting the dots, Phyllis whispers that the speaker is aware of her mental troubles. "I think we are on the last stop of your bipolar express," she informs me. Sharon believes their captor could be a doctor or a patient. If Phyllis isn't going to help, Sharon wants her to stop talking. The redhead cautions that looking for an identity may only irritate the voice. Sharon claims they can use any information they acquire to get out of there. Phyllis claims she has a better plan and suggests they bargain. She reminds her that they are the mothers of Victor's grandkids, and the Newmans are wealthy. Everyone has a price, and all they need to do is identify it. Simply putting them in a room together cannot be the prize. That wouldn't make sense. Sharon is still determined to figure out why they are there. Phyllis is unconcerned about this. She would be pleased to hand over a large sum of money to terminate the situation. They argue about Sharon being on both sides of the padded wall. Sharon maintains this is not a usual kidnapping. Someone is trying to push them to confront their history. Someone might want them to learn from their mistakes. Phyllis insists that will never happen. Sharon is certain that this is the product of someone who despises how much they loathe one another and may have been affected by their prior confrontations. Sharon does not accuse anyone, but she cannot rule out the possibility that the perpetrator is a relative. Phyllis immediately assumes that one of her children is to blame. She thinks this is ridiculous, but Sharon sees it as twisted logic. They've been watching them attack each other for years. Phyllis believes Sharon should be imprisoned for the rest of her life for what she did to Daniel. Sharon grasps this and believes that the kids may have understood Phyllis will never drop this, so shutting them up to figure it out is their way of protecting her from herself. Phyllis is offended and declares that Sharon is the one in need of saving, and she has Nick on speed dial. Turning it around, Phyllis reminds Sharon of what Faith has gone through. Perhaps she is attempting to teach her a lesson. Sharon claims her daughter does not have the resources for this. Then Phyllis suggests Mariah may have done it. When Sharon rejects it, Phyllis nominates Nick. He must be tired of their fighting, and he may want them to finally figure things out. Sharon dismisses this as ludicrous, claiming Nick would never want them praying for their lives. They begin squabbling about who he cares about more, until Sharon shifts the potential guilt back onto Phyllis's children. Nick asks Summer how things are with Chance. Back at Crimson Lights, Nick asks Summer how things are going with Chance. She explains that they are polite to each other, but it is difficult for her to stay with him after how he treated Daniel. Her father assures her that he was simply doing his job. She will admit it, and she has always appreciated his dedication to his career, but she desired his support. Instead, he felt like an enemy. But he has gone out of his way to assist, which means a lot. As they converse about Phyllis, Nick encourages her to stay positive, confident that she will return to town. His daughter can't forget what happened to Heather. They all advise Daniel to stay cheerful, but see how that played out. Nick will admit all of this, but for the time being, they must give forth positive energy. Billy and Daniel join them as Chance returns. The cop states that there is no record of Phyllis taking a ride, and no record of Sharon visiting any spa. They really have no concept what is going on. Billy explains that he and Daniel feel Sharon and Phyllis are not together by choice. They can't conceive who would want to target both of them. They continue to speculate, wondering if everything is random or if the two women are the only ones participating. When Esther comes out with a refill for Nick, she inquires whether he has heard from her boss. She has an essential appointment to have the coffee grounds read. Sharon was meant to cover for her. He tells her she will arrive, and she rushes out to check with the other employees to see if they can cover. Chance receives a call and walks away. Nick encourages his daughter to have an optimistic attitude. Chance returns and reports that Sharon's car was recovered in the parking lot at work. He requests the burner phone numbers so that they can trace down a broad location. This is beginning to sound like an official probe to Daniel. The voice gives another riddle. Back in the basement, yelling that she's had enough, Phyllis gets up and threatens to remove the gloves. She points her fingers at Sharon and tells her it's all her fault. Sharon screams back and admits she went too far. Phyllis accuses her of repeatedly pulling her family apart before pleading for forgiveness. Everyone else lets her off the hook, and she's sick of it. We cannot let this turn into a war, Sharon adds, implying that they are playing into their captor's hands. Do they want us to reconcile, or do they want us to kill each other? Phyllis asks. She wants to know since she's at the end of her rope. She yells over the intercom, declaring that she is prepared to fight until only one of them survives. Phyllis shakes her head. She has no idea what she is capable of, but she does not want to be imprisoned in a room with a woman she despises. All she wants to know is what the endgame might be. Taking a chair, she says she's going to smash a window and scream until someone hears her. Sharon, attempting to wrest it from her hands, complains that she will kill them. Phyllis begs for the chair and insists on doing something. Sharon reminds her that it's the middle of winter, and she lets it go. They sit together, and Sharon apologizes for accusing her children. But whoever is behind this is someone who knows and despises them. Looking up at the intercom, Phyllis inquires if they are entertained by this. "I'm not here to be entertained," the voice says. "The game is all that matters, and it's time to proceed. What is both valuable and inexpensive?" The voice prompts. The women are looking at each other. Next on The Young and the Restless, Billy figures that pressing Adam's buttons will be a smart use of his time. Young and Restless exclusive, Michelle Stafford and Sharon Case talk about the soap Olympics that brings the kidnapping to a head. Michelle Stafford and Sharon Case, stars of The Young and the Restless, are having a great time acting out Phyllis and Sharon's kidnapping. It's difficult to tell if they're feuding, reconciling, or doing a little of both while in the hands of their mysterious kidnapper. Still, one thing is certain, the conclusion will send fireworks into the daytime. Case told Soaps.com that the approaching finale, date TBD, was the final episode of this long progression that required them to bring out their best acting abilities. Stafford gave us a more colorful description, saying enthusiastically, "Oh, can we just state what it is? Sharon and I finished that motherfucker in one take. Yes, we like a confident queen." In allusion to Sharon and Phyllis's iconic food fight, Case says it's like the chocolate fountain for Stafford. "We all remember Sharon pushing Phyllis first, but she probably deserved it in the heat of the moment." With a second chance to execute another legendary Young and Restless scene, Stafford admits that they were so nervous. "If they had to reset and start again, it would have been horrific," she says. Case depends on the fact that they've been here previously, as the chocolate fountain was likewise completed in one take. She knew they could make history with their excellent abilities and explosive chemistry, yet the scene and the kidnapper remain unknown to us thus far. That didn't stop Case and Stafford from spoiling the ending to the fullest. "I noticed her anxiety, and she undoubtedly felt mine. And, you know, we're just buzzing together," Case says. "And finally, when it's time to leave, I'm thinking, this is going to be great. This is going to be great." Stafford nods in accord with an epic summary. It was the soap Olympics. It sounds like another major battle in the trenches for Phyllis and Sharon's relationship, and Stafford and Case delivered just when it counted. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon says these 4 words to Nick after captivity crisis ends. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon Newman may have 4 words for Nick Newman once her captivity crisis is ended. YNR has been kidnapped again, following her prior experience as a sewer hostage. Of course, Sharon is not alone this time around. Phyllis Summers has also been kidnapped and forced to play a bizarre game related to her past with Sharon. Although Phyllis felt Nick was trying to get them to work out their differences, Sharon dismissed the concept as too excessive. We can all agree that it would be completely out of character for Nick to put either of his exes through this. That is especially true for Sharon, given what happened with Ian Ward and Jordan. Nick seemed genuinely perplexed and concerned about what is going on here. Furthermore, Nick was at the Newman Ranch providing updates to Victor and Nikki Newman when the distorted voice delivered orders, therefore he cannot be the one carrying out the game. Instead, Nick senses something is wrong again and may eventually join a rescue team. On the other hand, Sharon and Phyllis might be able to save themselves if they finish the game as the captor wishes. Phyllis and Sharon will genuinely bond as things develop, so it would be intriguing if Phyllis pushed Sharon to quit being a coward and simply tell Nick how she feels. It's easy to envision Phyllis urging that everyone see how much Sharon still adores Nick. Phyllis could reluctantly concede that Nick appears to still adore Sharon. Perhaps Phyllis might get Sharon to stop dancing about the issue and just go for it. Whatever the case, Sharon may come away from this experience feeling as if she has wasted enough time suppressing her actual emotions. Will Sharon emerge from the drama a transformed woman ready to tell Nick what she truly feels? If that's the case, Sharon may say to Nick, "I want you back." Will Sharon muster the strength to make a momentous confession? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Phyllis makes this shocking move after Freedom Is Billy's World rocked? According to The Young and the Restless spoilers, Phyllis Summers may make a stunning step now that she has found independence. Will Phyllis's next move shake Billy Abbott's world? Billy has become concerned about Phyllis's recent behavior, which appears to be out of character for her. At this point, Billy is having difficulty reconciling certain facts. Given how excited Phyllis was about joining Abbott Communications and hiring Daniel Romalotti Jr., it doesn't make sense for her to disappear like way. That's why Billy is concerned about the likelihood of kidnapping, and his instincts are correct. Phyllis is truly in captive and is forced to play a strange game with Sharon Newman by their kidnapper. Whether Phyllis and Sharon escape, are rescued, or earn their way out by winning the game, freedom will come sooner or later. It's time to think about the next stage of our drama. So what will Phyllis do once she's free? This experience is undoubtedly going to impact Phyllis, and hopefully improve her relationship with Sharon in the long run. Phyllis and Sharon will never be BFFs, but they will hopefully learn to accept one another after going through this ordeal. Of course, Phyllis may grow to appreciate the positive aspects of her life, such as her children, her job, and even Billy. After spending so much time as a hostage, it's easy to understand Phyllis feeling that life is too short to be held back. With that in mind, Phyllis may make a bold move following her imprisonment ordeal. Will Phyllis tell Billy that she still has feelings for him? Could Phyllis plant a kiss to emphasize how much Billy matters to her? Phyllis's hostage crisis could serve as a wake-up call, convincing her to fight for Billy, thus reigniting her enmity with Sally Spectra. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Billy may receive updates about Phyllis's lasting love, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the romantic news ahead in GC. YNR spoilers, Victoria defies Victor and makes a beeline for shady Aristotle Dumas? According to teasers from The Young and the Restless, Victoria Newman and Cole Howard's romance appears to have frozen in the icy GC winter air. Cole vanished very immediately after Victor Newman gave him permission to pursue his daughter. No worries, Vic could have a new love interest in the form of mystery guy Aristotle Dumas. Who else felt Victoria and her baby daddy were boring? Who is Alexander Dumas? Claire Newman was overjoyed to see her parents Cole and Victoria back on track, but Cole appears to have gone into the attic, never to be seen again. We all know Victoria like bad boys, and with Ari on Victor's radar, he could be the ideal baddie to stand between Vic and Daddy. We know little about Aristotle Dumas, but Victor is researching him. We know he prefers to live on the down low, which implies he's as shady as a weeping willow. Aristotle is a business magnate who sounds like Victoria's last bad boy, Ashland Locke. Who will Victoria choose? There are no social media pictures of Aristotle, so we may envision him showing up at society and grabbing Victoria's attention, or vice versa. Another possibility is that Victoria cheats on Cole, resulting in a sloppy triangle. At the very least, we'd see Cole be passionate. Ari is Damien's boss, and he is not what he seems. Can you fathom what kind of guy is yanking Damien's strings? Victoria's new romance? Victoria has already settled into a comfortable routine with Claire, who is an adult by the way. She doesn't require Victoria's vigilant eye, despite the fact that the cautious mother instinctively goes into mama bear mode. Explosive The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Victoria will face significant changes, so stay tuned. We expect that Victoria will react in some way when Ari comes to town, given her father's suspicions about him. Victor does not need any additional problems, have you got that? Let us know what you think about Victoria and Ari hooking up YNR fans. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.